This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, May the 9th, is a very underrated player in the 1970s in basketball. A lot of people think, Abdul Jabbar, Alvin Hayes, Walt Clyde Frazier, Willis Reed, those guys in the 70s. But this guy was an icon. All that. And he had a prolific collegiate career and then went to the Rockets organization and played for them from 1970 to 1983, the only franchise he played for. And he knew what he could do. He's 5'9", yeah, a little bit short, but this guy is one of the most underrated players in the 1970s in the NBA. His name is Calvin Murphy, who's now 76 years old. Calvin Murphy was born May 9, 1948 in Norwich, Connecticut, and actually was a world-class baton twirler, saying that his mother and all 6 of his sisters were twirlers too. He actually won a national championship in baton twirling. And actually, 1963, and actually performed at the 1964 New York World's Fair, and actually won the Texas State Men's Twirling Championships in 1977 as a member of the Houston Rockets. He would play basketball and all that in Norwich. Then he went to Niagara University, a small university in upstate New York by Buffalo that, doesn't get much recognition for sports because they're not really the big boys. However, he was a 3-time All-American and put up 33 points per game, over 2,500 points in 77 games. One of his best moments was a 68-point outing for Niagara against Syracuse at Gallagher Center. Of course, that was before Syracuse were the big boys they are now, in a sense. In 1970, he helped Niagara get to the NCAA tournament, but lost to Villanova. He was known as one of the 3 M's of college basketball, with Pete Maravich and Rick Mount. Mount didn't amount, pun intended, to anything in the NBA. Pete Maravich was great shooter and all that, but he died too young. And Murphy, well, he was pretty good. So anyway, the 1970 NBA draft happened. And San Diego was one of the expansion teams, so they got to go draft there. Well, they drafted Rudy Tomjanovich, the legend, Coach T, or Rudy T. The guy who later on would help Houston win the NBA title in 1994 and 95 as head coach. San Diego, with the first pick of the second round, took Calvin Murphy from Niagara. So the Rockets struck gold. They got Tomjanovich and they got Calvin Murphy. A lot of people forget that the Rockets franchise actually was in San Diego at first, then to Houston and all that. So anyway, in his first season, he was taken to the NBA All-Rookie team. He was 5'9", but he was known for his quickness and defensive ability. And 5'9" wasn't as diminutive in the NBA back then as it is now. Anyway, the Rockets would take out the New York Knicks in the 75 NBA playoffs, which was a shock because, Houston was so good. And then they got eliminated by the Celtics in the conference semis. In 1979, he would have his only All-Star selection. Well, that's kind of bad that he only had one All-Star game in his career. Anyway, Murphy was a key part of the 1981 Rockets that shocked a lot of people by going to the NBA Finals in the first place. He put up 42 points against San Antonio in the conference semifinals, and then in the conference finals, they beat Kansas City. Yes, Kansas City had an NBA team. They were the Kansas City Kings, and of course, they got suspiciously kicked out of Kansas City because of the major indoor soccer team, allegedly, and then went to Sacramento. Anyway, the 81 NBA Finals, Murphy was part of the Rockets squad that lost in 6 games to the Celtics. But still, making the NBA Finals was amazing. But the one thing that Calvin Murphy in the NBA is known for is his free throw shooting. One of the best, if not the best ever. He actually had NBA records at one time for most consecutive free throws made and the highest free throw percentage in a single season. which is like unbelievable. People think, oh, free throws are easy and all that. Well, Shaq couldn't make them. Will Chamberlain couldn't make them. Hakeem couldn't really make them. But, people could make them. MJ could make with the best of them. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and of course, Calvin Murphy, one of the best shooters of all time. He was actually Houston's all-time leading scorer until Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon broke that mark. He was known for his enforcer and all that, and was rewarded in 1993 by being inducted to the Basketball Hall of Fame. He continued to work for the Rockets organization mainly as a TV analyst and all that. He's the halftime and postgame analyst for local Rockets broadcasts on cable. So Kevin Murphy is there and all that. He actually faced trial for sexually abusing 5 of his daughters. Fortunately, though, he was acquitted. So anyway, yeah, he was a legend and all that. Inducted to the Hall of Fame. Houston retired his number 23. Yeah, he made 23 cool before MJ did. Niagara retired as number 23 at their university. Well, why not? He's their most famous alumni. I don't really know any other Niagara University college players except for Juan Mendez, but he came from Toronto. 95.8% in 1981 free throw percentage. 206 out of 215. That's amazing. 95%. He had 78 consecutive free throws made, which was a record at the time during that 80-81 season, but it's been broken since. Part of the All-Rookie team in 71, All-Star in 1979. He played 1,002 NBA games, 17.9 points per game, assists 4.4 a game. Yeah, his free throw percentage was amazing. 90.7 in 1976, 91.8 in 78, 92.8 in 79, 81 he had a 95%, and then 90% in 82 and 92 in 83. That's what he was known for. 6 playoff runs with Houston, 51 games, 18.5 points per game. His free throw percentage was pretty good, 93% in the playoffs. Well, he had 89.2% in regulation, but 93.2% in the playoffs. He had the free throw percentage, things and all that within a season. I wonder who broke the season mark. And all that. Jose Calderon, 98% in 2009. Ooh, wow. I did not know that. So Jose Calderon is the holder of the record. Wow, it shows how much I know, which I didn't know much. But yeah, Calvin Murphy sure was underrated. And he could shoot free throws, which a lot of people take for granted. And he can't beat that. Anyhow, I'm Jeff. I'm going to do